Okay, so you want to play Nintendo, but this is all you get. We all know you can blow in the game. Sometimes that'll help. And we all know there's little tricks, jamming another game on top to push it down further, wiggling it around a little bit. There's different tricks. If you cannot get your games to work, you may ultimately want to change the 72-pin connector inside. But first things first, let's make sure that the game is clean, because cleaning the games can go a long way, and a lot of times you don't really need to go changing this. Now, I used to use alcohol like this. This is 99% basically rubbing alcohol. It's hard to find, you know. I had to go to the drugstore to find it, and I used to think it worked best. But a lot of people now are saying just use Windex. Now, obviously it's easier to find Windex. You can just go to your local grocery store and pick up Windex. I'm actually finding myself that it does work better. Now, you'd think the 99% alcohol would be stronger. You think it would be better at eating away the corrosion, which is really what you're doing, is you're cleaning off the corrosion on the on those aluminum pins. But the Windex does work really good. So here's what you're going to want to do. Get a few Q-tips and spray them with the Windex. Do one side at a time. On this PCB board, you got pins on one side and you got pins on the other. Start with one side and just rub the Windex onto the pins. Now look at that, it's filthy. Do it with the other side. Absolutely filthy, both sides. Just black. Now use the dry side. And there you can see more black stuff. So that's one side. Use another Q-tip to do the other side. And there you go. You can see once again, we've got quite a lot of black residue on there. Use the dry side. Now, one good blow in the cartridge to get out any excess cotton that may have come off inside. Now you can physically see that we've taken a lot of the dirt and corrosion off those pins, so we should have a better connection now. But it's still not working. So first things first, flip it over. There's 6 screws in the bottom. Once you get the 6 screws out, flip it back over, and the top will come off. Put the 6 screws in there just so you don't confuse them with any other screws. Set that aside. Now we got to take this metal cover off. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws holding on this metal cover.
How do you get your sleep at night? How did you get your news so tight? Like chewing on tinfoil, that's so much fun.
you get those 7 screws out, take the metal cover off, flip it upside down, put those 7 screws in. Once again, just keep it organized so you don't lose any screws, is really all it comes down to. Now we got to take this loading assembly off. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws holding this loading assembly in. 2 of the screws are different than the other 4. So remember that when you're putting it back together. I'm going to start taking these screws off. There you go, you can see one of the screws is longer. Now there's 1, 2, 3 holes. This longer screw comes out of the one in the middle. So just remember that when you're putting it back, that 2 of these 6 screws are longer than the other 4. Take your loading tray out, simply pull the front up and then slide it forward. Now there's a few more screws holding the main board down. There's one here, and one here. So get these 2 screws out. Now the motherboard's loose. You can leave everything else in, as all the buttons and the controllers are wired to the board. Simply lift the board, grab a hold of it. Now this is the 72 pin connector we're going to change. Pull it straight back off the board. Just like that. So here's the new one. It's going to go on the same way we just took the old one off. There's a bigger side that's angled upwards, that's where the game goes in. This smaller side with the screw holes in it is what connects to the board, so don't try and put it on upside down. It's gonna go on like this. Get a good firm hold of the motherboard and push. Just like that, new 72 pin connector's on. Now we just got to reverse all the screws, screw it all back together, and we're done. One small detail when you're putting the loading tray back on is make sure that this black tab here comes under the board, not over the board. You'll get it all in and you'll try and screw it down and it will not screw down and you won't be able to figure out why. It's because this black plastic clip wasn't underneath the board. So now that you've got it changed, give it a try. Now the first thing you're going to notice is that when you go to put the game in, it's a lot stiffer. The pins have a lot more pressure on them. It takes a lot more force to slide the game in and out now. So you're going to have to put your hand behind the thing and really push. First try. Absolutely first try. Now like I said, getting the game out does require a little more effort as well. Really quite a lot of effort. It does put a lot more friction on the game contacts, which some people may consider a bad thing. This is why I say only change it if you have to. Make sure the games are clean first. Thoroughly clean the games. Use Windex. More often than not, that's going to do the trick. But if you've thoroughly cleaned the games and you still can't get them to work, then go and change the 72 pin connector.